Hello and welcome back to Solo. So, yeah, we're continuing on with the White Lord campaign, and we got 3 fights this time instead of the usual 4, but that's fine because one of them is an elite fight. And then after the elite fight we obviously have, a normal fight, and then we have the boss, which is really cool, in my opinion, because, it's gonna be really interesting to see how this army does against the boss, because, yeah, we got 2 units of direwolves, and direwolves don't usually do well in, full frontal confrontations, which is usually a big problem in these, sort of like boss battles, because the boss usually has a really big army, and it's usually really wide, and, stuff like, large units don't really work out all too well against the boss fights. So we'll see how well it works out, won't we? I don't have the highest of hopes, but I can definitely hope that we do, in fact, do well. I'm going to shoot the bow riders. I don't know who's better to shoot, the bow riders or the trolls. I mean, they both have the same amount of defense, don't they? And they both succeed in saving rolls against us, so that's a bit unfortunate, isn't it? Cool, that should be a side charge on the trolls. So yeah, that's fine by me. That means I can immediately use this on the skeleton knights, which should help them out in getting to the side of these orc warriors, won't it? So yeah, we'll see how this works out, and yeah, I really just want to get side charges in on the enemies. I don't really want to be going for full frontal confrontations, because that's where, we lose, because I guess, as I've said, the direwolves don't do well in that sort of fight. So yeah, come on, okay, so there's the orc warriors. No, that's me going through the forest. It's not really good. Okay, I'll stop over here, even though that's kind of wasting my movement, because I don't really want to let the orc warriors charge me in the side or anything like that. So, I wanted to talk about a game called Unknown 9, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because, it's made by, a company that has consulted Sweet Baby Inc., which is kind of like a funny little, consultation company for video games, and, they don't have the interest of the, consumer in mind whenever they make their products, so not a lot of people specifically like Sweet Baby Inc. So, usually, they get boycotted and people don't buy their products, so stuff like that. And the reason why I wanted to talk about Unknown 9 is because people are really boycotting the game. Like, we're talking about like the game having like 200 players on release. That's really bad. That's worse than Concord. So yeah, it's a single player experience as well. People are saying that the graphics are extremely old and that it's basically no good whatsoever. So yeah, people have some harsh criticisms for the game, and it's fully down to Sweet Baby Inc. not actually being a good consultation company, because any good consultation company would actually come out of their way and say, the story is kind of bland. But Sweet Baby Inc. likes bland stories because they think that risk is unnecessary, and they try to constantly put in garbage relating to the real world into their video games, which really affects the quality of the game. Because the whole point why people want to play fantasy games like Unknown 9, where you kind of like fight against with magical powers and stuff like that, is because you want to escape realism, and you can't escape realism if the company that makes your game constantly tries to put realism into the game. So it's just really annoying, I guess, to watch Sweet Baby Inc. ruin a game, because you're looking forward to a game, and then suddenly you hear about Sweet Baby Inc. in the game, and suddenly the game is subpar, which happens quite often with Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement, because the game has really become subpar really quickly. It's easy to break a game, it's easy to ruin a game, it's really hard to make a quality product, especially when it comes to video games. People want some, harsh, I guess not harsh, but they want some edginess in their games, having, some dilemmas, I guess, like Baldur's Gate 3, I guess, Nobody complained about Baldur's Gate 3, even though that game had a lot of egregious stuff that people, usually complain about, because, yeah, you could quite literally, destroy innocent lives. There was like a plot point in Baldur's Gate 3 in Act 1 where you have like this camp of like tieflings, and if you want to, you could side with the goblins, and you could destroy the entire camp and kill everyone inside. And that's player choice, and that was done very well, but that's something that companies like Sweet Baby Inc. would never allow, because they're too incompetent. They don't understand what's so appealing about giving a person a choice in a fantasy game to be completely evil, It's kind of like saying that if you play Call of Duty, you're going to proceed to, cause a war or something like that. It's rather nonsensical. You ever just crumble on a dragon? That's crazy. So now it doesn't vault, and it only, takes damage on a D3 from crumbling. That's such a big buff to the dragon. So yeah, that's absolutely massive. Wow. Yeah, the dragon is terrifying, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, oh wow. Okay, so you might want to avoid the dragon from now on, because yeah, the dragon is scary. Crumble walls on these guys is also quite nice. Always nice. And then yeah, take replenishment on the wolves, and obviously take replenishment here, and then yep, cool. Take money wherever I can. And these wolves, I have to increase this width because, you know, restrictions on the back row. The back row no longer gets all of their attacks. It's a change that was made, so it's something that you have to take into account. And let's see. Oh, we just get money here. That's fine by me. I'm going to use 18 units, and I'm not going to do anything else, because usually after you use 18 units, you get like 200, something like that. So yeah, there we go. We lost 9, but we got 174 money, which is really good. That's more than an elite fight. And true strike, reroll and missed attacks. That's again also really massive. So there we go. That's very useful. Right then, let's see what the enemies have. And it looks like the enemies have a really small army. Now it is Act 1, and it is, you know, how do I put it? It is Act 1, it is a normal battle, but, you know, I still kind of expected the enemies to have kind of a scarier army composition, I guess. But I'm also fine with this. Yeah, the archers attacked us, and I'm just going to move up these guys. We'll see what the enemies do. I'm going to try to move this guy in on a side charge, so that I can, you know, rout them, I guess, turn 1, maybe, and then just continually charge them in the back, maybe even ping-pong between units. That's the ideal plan over here. So I'm going to move up. Should I move up all the way? I think I will move up all the way, shouldn't I? And then I can obviously do something like this and then fire at the crossbows. Now, to keep in mind, we are on a dragon, so, you know, charging in from the front directly is not too big of a problem for us. And also the crossbows will never charge into us, you know, because they're range units, and range units never charge into you if you're in range, even if they can charge you. So, you know, that's just how the AI works. So I can just stand over here and they won't charge me. Now I will charge them, but we'll see if this is a front or you know, if it's a front or a side charge. I think it is a front charge. Yeah, okay, that's fine as well. I don't really mind that. It doesn't really matter to me all that much, because it is a dragon and it has 6 defense, which is really nice. So we'll see what this other guy does. And yeah, ooh, wow, yeah, I guess we'll save that. Oh, wow, that's really good rolls. I hope that I didn't just waste all my luck for this episode on that single save regarding the skeleton warriors, because yeah, that was quite good. That was indeed quite good. 3 6s and a 5? Like, what? The skeleton warriors are really cooking something this time. So I'm just going to walk away. No point in staying there. Obviously, don't have any spells, except for the additional movement, which isn't really necessary right now. So yeah, cool. And then obviously deal with these guys. That's very nice. They're going to continue routing. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I guess the miners are really nice, because you can actually route them, unlike, you know, the dwarf veterans or, you know, deep guard, which have a ridiculous amount of you know, discipline, that it's really just in general impossible to route them sometimes, it feels like. So I'm going to do this, and this is basically the end of this battle, so yeah, there's no reason for me to do anything else. So I wanted to talk about VR horror games as well, so yeah, keeping in line with video games, and I wanted to talk about VR because I feel like VR horror games are a really niche market, and I feel like it's a really cool market for horror games, because it like really puts you in the horror game. Now, I watched like a VR horror game which deals with like phobias, where it's like if you have a phobia of height, it's like puts you on a tall skyscraper, and you have to kind of like slowly climb up it. And then there was like a spider phobia VR game, little VR game inside of that game, and you know, it's kind of like a bunch of like mini arcade games inside of VR, and it's really cool. Now, the biggest problem with VR games is the fact that people get motion sick inside of them. I know that somebody, a YouTuber called Pyrocynical, he has, you know, what's the word? He gets sick whenever he puts on the VR. You know, it's like not motion sickness almost. I don't know what the correct word for VR sickness is, but yeah, a lot of people get sick in VR. And, you know, that is a downside of VR, I guess. So maybe like I saw this like thing where for people that get car sick, where they have like these glasses with like water inside of them, so whenever the car moves, the water inside the glass moves as well. That's supposed to like help the people keep their balance. I'm gonna get another Weight Lord, because 2 Weight Lords is better than 1, and yeah, relentless attacks as well. Very nice. That's a weapon enchant, so it's not something that I should really worry about all too much. And I could get additional skill, couldn't I? Let's see. Can I get an army view? Like what is exactly my skill? 5 skill. I mean, I could get the additional skill, couldn't I? But I already have reroll failed attacks and stuff like that, so is it really useful? I don't think it is. And I don't have a banner of mist. That is a shame. I'm going to save up for later then, and let's go to this tent. So yeah, I don't know if it's possible to like kind of weight people's VR glasses down so that they don't get motion sickness easily. But I don't know. I don't know if that's possible or not, and it's just a really interesting idea that I just came up with. But I don't know if it's all that useful, to be fair. So yeah, stuff like VR horror games and VR. I'm gonna let the chariot charge into the White Lord because that's why I have him. He's in a unit of zombies, so he's quite disposable. So VR like games, and VR horror movies are a really cool potential point to move towards. Because what's scarier than a normal horror movie? A horror movie where you can look around and you're almost like in the shoes of the person that's in the world. So that's a really cool concept that I think that video games should explore more of. So yeah, I'm gonna move this guy around the side. I only need him to really charge these elf spheres in the side because this guy's going to charge him and this guy's going to charge him. So that's the plan anyway. I'm also got to give myself some unholy vigor to get myself across to the Weight Watchers. So yeah, do this and I can immediately get rid of them. Now they are in a forest, so obviously it's the ability of my flame breath isn't that great, but I am just going to charge them in the side and we'll see how we go from there. Maybe move slightly like this and I can hopefully charge into that I guess catapult bolt thrower. There we go. That's very nice. We'll see what charges we can make, but I should definitely charge into the elf space. That's fine. Oh no, that's full to charge. That's a problem. Okay, yeah, that's not good. I'd prefer not to do that charge. Okay, yeah, charged in over there. Okay, that is very shameful, isn't it? I can't actually charge, but I'll charge in the front. Whatever. I'll do it like this. It's fine. I'll take a frontal charge. You know what? Screw that. I'll just frontally charge. That's fine. I don't care. Watch me care. I really don't. So yeah. Apart from horror movies, I guess what else have I got to talk about? So I got to talk about feral pigs, and the reason why I want to talk about that is because wherever they go, in places that they're not really supposed to be, they cause a lot of havoc. So, like America, like Australia as well, but particularly in like Florida in America, they cause a lot of problem like feral pigs. They practically anything and everything, and they really just dig up the environment, which is what they exactly do in Australia as well. Australia has like a really big problem where the feral pigs basically come out and they basically dig out massive amounts of natural habitat and stuff like that, and they spread invasive plants as well, and it's just really a big problem in Australia with the feral pig situation. I actually hope that this Weight Lord can deal with the chariot because it doesn't seem to be dealing all that much damage. I had slightly higher hopes, I'm not gonna lie, for the Weight Lord. So we'll see how it works, won't we? But yeah, my hopes are not the highest. So I might actually charge this guy into the back of the Watchers. I feel like that might be the plan over here. And actually charge this guy in from behind. Cool, into the Elf Noble. Obviously my White Lord is going to fight the Elf Noble and the Dragon is going to fight the Weapon Master, so it should be relatively fine, shouldn't it? Yeah, there we go. And no need to really move the Skeleton Warriors forward, although I could have moved them forward, but if I did, then they could actually counteract the enemy's routing. Because if the enemy's dealt enough damage in their unit, then obviously would negate all the damage that my Weight Lord on a Dragon will be doing, so I really don't want that, so I'd rather the enemies just rout rather than just trying to get them to rout while they're encircled. So yeah, the Skeleton Warriors against the Weapon Masters would not be a fun time for me. Charge these guys in the back, that's fine. Cool, right then, let's see. I could probably stack the... Could I stack the movement? I don't know, is that how it works? So the chariot came back, but I want to try something really quick. So Unholy Vigor, right then. And then let's see what we do. So those Elf Watchers also came back. And now can I stack another? That's 10. Let's see if it increases. No, that's still 10. Okay, so you can only use it once. Unholy Vigor works only once on a single unit. That's a bit of a shame, I guess. I was really expecting for it to stack, but here we are. Now I'm just going to move these guys out of the way so that they're not, blocking the path once these guys vote, and then my Weight Lord has to chase after them. Okay, right, so the Elf Spears are really destroying the Wolf Riders, or just the Dire Wolves, I guess. because yeah, I'm just so used to Goblin Wolf Riders that, you know, seeing the wolf icon is just the wolves is just really sad, I guess, almost. You know, where's my other little guy on top of the dire wolves? I guess. Where is he? What did you do with my little guy on top the dire wolf? I'm gonna charge them in behind them from the side just to make sure I fully destroy them. But yeah, this Wight Lord attacking the, you know, elf noble from the back is doing really well. So yeah, I guess, you know, the thing with feral pigs as well is that they're just ordinary pigs. You know, feral pigs are just, you know, ordinary pigs that have gone into the wild and then they turned wild again. You know, there's very little difference between them and, you know, the sort of pigs that are commercially raised. So it's very common for them to just escape, especially considering how smart pigs are. You know, pigs can learn to pick locks and stuff like that. They can yeah, they can most definitely open like pig pens and stuff like that. So it's very common for them to escape. You know, the farmer looks away for a little bit and then, you know, suddenly the pig opens the pig pen and it's running away. It's very common for stuff like that to happen. So, you know, I'm gonna give this guy some unholy vigor just to get him to move over to and attack the back of these, I guess, elf spears. That's really nice, cool. And then let's see. I hope that getting rid of the elf noble will get the enemies to vout, but I don't know. They might not be vouting, and no, they're not. That's not enough to get them to vout. Wow, this is going to be a really slow game, isn't it? But yeah, and what else have I got to talk about? Apart from just, you know, apart from them being dangerous to the environment, they're also dangerous to people. Yeah, the feral pigs are, you know, that they got those really nasty tusks that they like to grow out, and no, if you get caught by one of those things, you know, it's if it lacerates you, that's basically what it does. It's yeah, it could cut like a major artery, especially when they're like because of the height that they're at, they're, you know, perfect height to like start going your thighs, right? And basically in your legs you have like a bunch of large blood vessels and arteries and veins that pump blood to and from your legs, and you know, if it starts going you there, it's really bad for you, because yeah, it's you're gonna bleed out in like minutes. That's the time frame that you have. It's really scary, and they're also very durable as well. You know, we're talking about an animal that, you know, can survive multiple shots, and you know, it's just really scary. You know, pigs in general, especially wild pigs and boars, they're just so terrifying to deal with. I'm not gonna lie, it's one of the worst things to run across in the woods. Because from a bear you can just kind of like lie down and wait it out, but you know, like pigs, they're gonna gore you until the very end. It's very morbid, isn't it? I'm gonna try to get the, you know, this undead ability, you know, stronger summons to the very top, because just crumble. I think eventually it also gives you unit size and replenishment, which is really cool. So yeah, if I can get to that stage, it'll be really nice. Just to get two stat bonuses at once is very strong indeed. So yeah, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.